In October of 2020, during a global pandemic that shut everything down, the Dark Zone conducted an unparalleled experiment aboard the most haunted ocean liner in the world, the Queen Mary.
There are so many things beautiful about the Queen Mary. We're standing in probably my favorite room, the first class main lounge. We call it the Queen Salon. This room is bathed in African cherry on the columns, maple cluster on the bulkheads in the ceiling, mazur birch. There's nothing like this ship on the planet. She is also notoriously haunted.
With the massive ship entirely deserted, an elite group of paranormal investigators gathered aboard her empty decks. Their goal, to use this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to thoroughly investigate the extensive claims of paranormal activity reported over the last century and prove once and for all that the Queen Mary's ghosts are real.
Skylark, have you anything to say to me?
Skylark, are you here?
Won't you tell me?
Through the years, many attempts have been made to investigate the world's most haunted ghost ship, but never when she was completely empty. Never for 4 straight days, and never using state-of-the-art equipment. Until now.
Whoever's sitting in the chair, can you please touch Susan's hand? Oh, right there.
You see him touch his arm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just feel it like all here.
I heard get out. It sound female to me.
I heard something over there. Yeah. Hello?
Did somebody sit on the bed or push the bed?
I felt the hand go across my leg.
Oh!
When do you get to investigate the Queen Mary when she's empty? Never.
Ghost Ship, the Queen Mary Experiment.
I'm Susan Slaughter. You might know me from Ghost Hunters Academy, Ghost Hunters International, and more recently, Paranormal Caught on Camera. Welcome to the legendary Queen Mary here in Long Beach, California. You're about to witness something that's never been done before. A paranormal team getting full access to the entire ship that is the Queen Mary. This unprecedented event was only possible because of the COVID pandemic. Myself and my fellow investigators get to have this entire ship to ourselves without any outside contamination. To help us investigate this massive vessel, we'll be working with Colin Browen, Patrick Doyle, Kristen Luman, Omar from Omar Gosh TV, Tony and Cherie Rathman, Kris Star, Jojo Wright, and Sophia Temperilli. To understand the nature of a haunting, we must understand the motivators behind those haunts. So before we begin, let's meet our hosts who will share with you the fantastic history behind this massive ship.
My name's Aiden Sinclair. I'm the resident apparitionist on board the RMS Queen Mary. When I first got into this, I didn't really believe in the paranormal. I was very skeptical. As a magician, you know what can be done to give people the illusion of a paranormal event. In the practice of this style of magic, I started getting booked to perform at historically haunted places, and one of them ended up being the Stanley Hotel. And within the first few hours of being at the Stanley, something happened. Now you fast forward, I've been doing this for a decade of my life. Over 10 years, I've been to a lot of haunted places and I've done a lot of investigating. This is the only place where every night something happened.
I'm Becca. I've been working with Aiden at the Queen Mary for about 2 years now. When you're in a place like this, every day, all day long, of course you're going to have things happen, especially with its history.
Our primary method of investigating on the Queen has been driven towards the Estes method. The Estes method was developed at the Stanley Hotel. Carl Pfeiffer and Connor Randall and Shel Tate, they had this idea of what if you took the confirmation bias out of it? Instead of having the whole group listen to the box, what if you could isolate one investigator? And they found a set of headphones that are used by studio drummers. All they hear is the music in their ears, and they don't hear anything else. Now you have someone completely isolated from the box, but you also want to blind them so that they can't be influenced by anything that they see. So you now have an investigator that is blindfolded and deaf, and all they can hear is the spirit box. And their job is to diligently listen to everything that goes into their ears, and any word that they can make out, they say.
Stop. Go back. Okay.
Now this person is blind and deaf, and they're just verbalizing what comes through the box. So now when people are asking questions, the answers start coming from something, and someone can't hear the question.
Hello.
Hello. I come here all the time to talk.
Are you here?
I am here.
Since we've been here on the Queen Mary, we've had some positive interactions with entities.
In our very first public investigation, we were doing an Estes session. Grant Wilson of Ghost Hunters and Ty Gowan of Haunt Me. Grant was asking questions. Ty was in the headphones doing Estes method with a spirit box.
And Grant Wilson asked, if there's anybody here, if you're really here with us, tell me something personal about you. Tell me your favorite song.
And Ty, in response, goes, Skylark? And to everybody in the room, it sounded like a funny response.
I'm in the back of the room going, you just got an answer. That's a song. Skylark was a song that was released during the time that the ship was alive. It was not only a song, but it was a song that was period appropriate to the 1930s.
Months down the road, we had a private investigation, and we were doing a combination of K2 and Estes method with the spirit box. And one girl puts on these headphones, who's never done Estes or a spirit box session before in her life, puts the headphones on and immediately starts saying, I want to hear my favorite song.
And Becca and I both almost had a freaking heart attack.
We end up turning the song on, and during the entire time the song is playing, the K2 meter goes all the way up to red and stays there for the duration of the entire song. It only fades out as the song fades out.
You know, those investigators that might be out there going, well, you turned on your speaker, so obviously that's what fired it. We never turn our speakers off. We turn the volume down. Where it gets more interesting is as the song is playing, the girl in the headphones has no idea music is playing around her. She's blind to all of this and says, I like it. I'm dancing.
And after that, the next thing that was said through Estes was, I had a girlfriend. It's been a long time. And it just got sad and heavy in the room.
And there were people in the room that night that literally, it just spontaneously started crying, you know, because it was emotional, it was profound, and it was an interaction with something. But we also started to have interactions on the ship that got a little strange. And this all kind of started with a deck of tarot cards. The first year that we were here, I went and got a coffee at my morning Starbucks, and a homeless woman walked up and set a deck of tarot cards down next to me and insisted that they were mine. They were Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot. You know, as soon as you see Crowley's name on something, you're kind of like, oh shit. Here's someone who believed in ritual magic and manifestation. He believed that he could conjure bad things to people that hurt him. We fast forward a couple weeks after that, we're doing an investigation, and it is always a constant 62 degrees in the theater. And we use a data logger in the room, and it starts off 62 degrees, and we have this lady in Estes who is just a random stranger. Suddenly, I look over and the data logger changes to 66.6. Crowley used to sign his name, the Great Beast, 666. And right when that happens, this woman that's in headphones says, the magic is in our void. And it's a line from an Aleister Crowley ritual. So now we get someone that shouldn't know anything about Aleister Crowley, that just quoted a line from his writing while his signature appears on a machine where no environmental change has happened. It was weird.
We had a reoccurring investigation. Night after night, we'd seem to be talking to the same sailor, and it would hit at about the same time every night. And As we'd have these conversations, they would fade out. And someone pointed out one night, it's like when you wake up from a dream, you just fade in and out of that dream. So the next night, I asked, do you think you're dreaming? And we've never interacted with that entity that we feel. Again, are ghosts where you go when you sleep? Are ghosts where you go when you die? Are ghosts some sort of time slip, that it's not even someone who's dead, but they're alive in their time and somehow you pass them in your time? It doesn't seem to be so cut and dry as you die, you haunt the earth.
Forget everything that you know or think you know about the Queen Mary and truly see what the Queen Mary has to teach all of us over 4 days.
My name is Commodore Everett Horde. I serve as Senior Captain of the retired Cunard liner RMS Queen Mary. The Queen Mary has many facets that cause people to fall in love with her. And it goes all the way back to the very beginning. The Queen Mary was designed in the late 1920s, and by the time it was being built, only known as Job 534 in the shipyard, it became something of a symbol of the recovery from the Great Depression. By the time the keel was laid in December of 1930, there were 4,000 workers laid on in John Brown shipyard. The ship would eventually be held together with 10 million rivets, one of the largest riveted structures left on the planet today. At launching, just the materials in the hull itself weighed over 35,000 tons. It was the first ship ever to breach the 1,000-foot mark or the 80,000-ton mark. Quite literally, you could sit the Titanic within the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary truly is vast. It's like having 3 ships in one because it's 3 classes. Now you have first class, which takes up about 70% of the middle of the ship. They have the smoothest ride, the tallest ceilings, as in this room. It soars through 3 decks. Up forward is tourist class or 3rd class. And in the stern is cabin class or 2nd class. There were around 960 different cabins in the ship. The Queen Mary was designed from bow to stern and everything in between to be the finest ship on the North Atlantic. She was the fastest ship in the world. And she was built for the express purpose of getting you from one side of the Atlantic to the other as fast as possible, on schedule, safely, and in luxury. In August of 1938, the Queen Mary would make her fastest crossing ever, and the ship attained a sustained speed of 31.69 knots, a crossing time of 3 days, 20 hours, and 42 minutes, and that record would stand for 14 years. On the 3rd of September 1939, a coded message was received on the bridge to put the ship on full war alert that England had declared war on Germany. And at that point, a conversation had been had between Churchill and Roosevelt and General George Marshall. The Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth were the 2 fastest and largest vessels on the face of the earth. And they were ideal for taking troops across the Atlantic because they could run unaided without escort, because the average convoy would travel about 15 knots. Well, the cruising speed of the Queen Mary was 28.5 knots. Before the ship left New York in March of 1940, the crew painted the ship battleship gray. And of course, she was nicknamed the Gray Ghost. They would put 15,000 and upward troops in summer months on the Queen Mary and take them to Scotland and offload them for the buildup of the invasion of Normandy. The ship was packed as tightly as possible. If they were torpedoed or bombed at sea, that they could easily be lost with all hands. By the time the war was over, the Queen Mary alone had carried 810,730 military personnel. She holds the world's record today for carrying more human beings on a single crossing of any ocean in any ship, and that was in July of 1943. This ship carried 16,683 souls on one voyage. And it is a record that is likely never to be broken. Hitler had felt the sting of the Queen Mary's ability to deliver troops, and he had placed a $250,000 bounty on the Queen Mary's head for any U-boat commander that could sink the Queen Mary. However, throughout the war, she was never attacked. And the darkest day was that October day when the Curacao incident happened. The Queen Mary was traveling eastbound with 10,000 troops on board. The HMS Curacao had come out to meet the Queen Mary along with several destroyers. And the Queen Mary was zigzagging as ordered by the Admiralty. HMS Curacao, traveling at an oblique angle to the Queen Mary's bow, was sucked beneath the bow because of the Queen Mary's enormous bow waves and eddies going alongside of the ship as 80,000 tons of ocean liner races forward at nearly 30 knots. Curacao was pushed at an oblique angle to a right angle, and the Queen Mary's reinforced steel bow went through the Curacao like a knife through butter. 338 brave men of the Royal Navy, crew members of HMS Curacao, were either boiled when their ship blew up, dismembered in the Queen Mary's propellers, burned in a sea of burning oil. The ship turned turtle, exploding, and disappeared within 5 minutes. In July of 1947, the Queen Mary was ready to go to sea again. I consider from 1947 until 1967 the glamour years of the Queen Mary. The lights of the world were traveling in her. Fred Astaire, JFK, Marlene Dietrich, Bob Hope, Cary Grant, Frank Sinatra, Doris Day, Judy Garland, Elizabeth Taylor, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor here, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, traveled in the ship. Even Walt Disney traveled in the Queen Mary to the European premiere of Alice in Wonderland. October the 31st, 1967, almost 53 years ago to the day, the Queen Mary would leave England forever with over 1,000 passengers. So on the 9th of December, in the early morning, the Queen Mary was off the coast of San Diego. Boats started to come out and follow along in the Queen Mary's wake. And today, nearly 53 years from that Halloween sailing, the arrival on the 9th of December, this ship has seen more than 60 million people come through and visit. There's nothing like this ship on the planet. She is also notoriously haunted. I have had paranormal experiences on board the ship. I was showing some VIPs around down in the lower areas of the ship, and I began hearing breathing. And it became louder and louder, and I began to feel it going down the back of my neck. And I stopped talking. And my guest said, "We better get out of here." And you should have seen 3 adults climb 10 decks and sit on a bench under a lifeboat and wonder what just happened to them. The longer I stay here, the more frequently things happen.
The Queen always gets rated as America's most haunted location. There was a death on the very, very first voyage and the very, very last voyage. Did that set her up for being some sort of haunted place?
The Queen Mary's paranormal activity actually started in the 1950s while the ship was still in service. And some of these stories, surprisingly enough, are relevant to some of the ghostly claims today.
Everybody that comes to investigate the Queen Mary has some preconceived notion about what's here. When we go into the Queen's Salon, we do go in search of the Lady in White. Everybody that does see her, they don't see a transparent apparition. They see a person, a lady, beautiful woman in a white dress dancing, and they never see her partner. It's been perpetuated that it was probably a war bride who killed themselves. There's no record to back it up. In fact, there's no suicide documented that would describe that.
And if you look at most of the photos, of the war brides, they were all bundled up and they had kerchiefs around their heads. So I don't think the woman in white had anything to do with the 1940 war brides. I would say that the children might. In the 50s, it was about 5 or 6 ghost children that were supposedly seen and heard, but they weren't in the first-class swimming pool. These sightings and where people would hear were in other parts of the ship, especially the upper levels, the decks. A lot of people would claim that they would hear children playing inside one of the cabins, but the cabin would be unoccupied at the time.
There's definitely a little girl named Jackie running around the ship. Since the pool has been closed to the public, there have been interactions by guests on the ship of running into a little girl described as being between 6 and 8 years old, wearing a swimsuit, who appears soaking wet like they just got out of a pool. People have always assumed if she's here, she must have died here. And that tends to be the overwhelming presumption in any haunted place I've ever been.
There were no drownings, but some people go there just to specifically look for children, thinking that's where the children ghosts are. The first-class swimming pool was allegedly haunted in the 1950s, but it wasn't children ghosts there. What stewards were hearing, and it was in the dressing room area, where they would hear a male cry out help or hear some banging, like a male was in distress. There have been people seeing someone in white coveralls in the bowels of the ship. That actually matches historically. The engineers wore coveralls, white coveralls. There were reports of big band music or orchestra music playing in some of these ballrooms. People would hear that, and security guards would hear that. Workers would hear that. Even a city official in the late 60s heard it.
I think it's fascinating that many of the apparitions that appear on the ship appear as full-bodied apparitions. People see people that suddenly disappear. Here at the staircase, we look for a man in gray who's been seen over the years. A very tall man, a gray suit, gray fedora, who's often asking where his child is. Have you seen my daughter? Back in Sir Winston's restaurant, it's a pretty regular occurrence on the ship that people will encounter a man in a tuxedo. He's always described as being very tall, gray hair. He's always wearing a period tuxedo, white tie, white vest, high collar. And he's always seen alone drinking a cocktail. And when people do approach him and talk to him, he won't engage. He won't talk to you, he won't look at you, he won't acknowledge you. And when people take their eyes off of him for a moment and then look back, he's gone. No drink, no wet spot on the bar. Winston Churchill is a very famous haunt of the ship. He was a passenger on the Queen Mary. He loved the ship, spent a lot of time here. And he seems to hang around still. There's the Churchill suite, and a lot of times people stay in that room and then complain about the cigar smoke. And there is no smoking on the Queen Mary. There's no open flame allowed of any kind.
Maybe this is their heaven. Maybe this is their happy place that they want to be forever and ever. They want to relive their wedding day for the rest of their life. They want to relive meeting their soulmate on the Queen Mary when they were sailing aboard her. Who says Jackie had to die here? It's documented that she didn't. So why couldn't she be a little girl that just enjoyed swimming in the first-class pool, that enjoyed diving, that, met a little boy there that became her husband one day? There's so many different possibilities for why someone could stay in a space.
I'm convinced there's something there. There's an energy there, there's a sense of history, and you just feel it. You just feel it. The past isn't as dead as we were told to believe that it is.
With that much rich history, it's understandable why the Queen Mary is considered to be one of the most haunted ships in the world. Now, before we begin tonight, let's learn more about the specific location we'll be investigating.
We're about to enter B340, which has been kind of legendary as being the most haunted room aboard the Queen Mary. So this brings us to the room with no name. What should be here is a little placard that says B340. I can't tell you how many placards they've gone through, because every time they put one, someone steals it. So they've just made it the unnamed room now. As you go in, you'll notice that there's a little control panel. So welcome to room B340, the most haunted room on the Queen Mary. The legend of B340 really kind of was generated during the time that Disney were the owners of the ship. And they had this idea of making it a little bit more interesting than just a plain old room. So what we're standing in is essentially what was once part of a haunted house attraction. The control panel that we passed when we went in was the place where the tour guide would stop. They could then push a button on the control panel, which would begin a series of animatronic effects that would take place in the room. Rapping on the walls, doors slamming, things that make the lights flicker. After a period of time, Disney left the ship. And when Disney left the ship, they kind of left some things behind. What they didn't do, though, was tell the next owners what had been left. All it took was a recycling of the power on the ship, and it reactivated things. So people would check into the room, and all of a sudden lights flicker, and doors slam, and there's rapping on the walls. So you can imagine people would be kind of freaked out if in the middle of the night this stuff started happening. So they sealed the room. They stopped renting it out, and then they realized that there are these things in the walls. And this is where the story gets interesting, is once the room was stripped bare and people started to come and investigate the paranormal, that's when the real paranormal seemed to have started to show up. We've always questioned, do you come here with an expectation of having that activity and therefore manifest it? Has the room become a portal of some kind? Do so many people come here inviting their loved ones to come visit them that maybe this is where people are coming? People have had weird things happen with Ouija boards in the room, with tarot cards in the room. We came in and did a private show one night for someone who had rented the room, just a 15-minute kind of presentation for them. And this was someone who didn't believe in the paranormal, was super skeptical, and could not stop telling me about the closet door opening and slamming shut. People have had experiences of staying in the bed and having someone come and sit down on the bed in the room when no one was in the room. So they're physical things of that regard. I always approach things as a magician and a skeptic before, anything else. And when I do an investigation, I always look for, okay, how can it not be a ghost, or who can be manipulating the environment?
But those manipulated things haven't continued on in a genuine way either.
Yeah.
So there hasn't been both versions of it, just the manipulated control panel version of those experiences.
Yeah.
And it's exciting that we'll get the opportunity to test that, to see it for ourselves.
So this is definitely a place that'll be fun to investigate. If there's somebody here and you'd like to talk to us tonight, I'm Aiden. This is my friend Kris. Sitting on the couch tonight, that's Colin on the end. And in the middle is Omar. And on the other end is Jojo. So Kris is going to put the headphones on, and we'll see if she can hear you if you want to speak to us.
Do you hear the static when it's on my ears?
Not when it's on, no. So if there's anybody here with us tonight, Kris is listening. Is there anybody that would like to say hello?
Is that thing spiking through
It is.
the radio or what?
No.
No, it's just been a flicker.
It was just the one.
Happened right when she put the stuff on too.
There it goes again.
Oh.
There it goes. Look at that.
What the hell?
That one's going off and that one isn't.
That's trippy.
Are you touching this box here?
I hear a woman's voice.
Oh. I just got goosebumps.
Creepy, man.
I'm gonna put this down here.
If you're touching that little box, thank you. It shouldn't hurt you, but if you touch it, I think that's what allows us to see you.
Sounds like singing, like a light humming.
Do you like music? Is there someone here who likes music?
If you're a woman, could you say a word, maybe yes, or something to confirm that?
Otherwise, there's not much other than the woman's voice.
Any word would be acceptable at this point.
having company in this room? No, it's been empty for a long time. We're here to visit.
I don't hear anything.
I just heard a tap behind me.
So did I.
You heard it?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
I was asking in my head. I asked if whatever was in here was tapping.
And she said no.
Yeah.
Is anyone angry that we are here?
I heard a man's voice as soon as I turned this on. At first I thought it said Ted. It sounded like it said Ted. It was like a very deep male voice.
Is there someone named Ted with us this evening?
Can you climb on the bed with her?
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa.
Oh.
Sounds like someone yelling, a very deep manly voice yelling.
What?
Oh, there it is again.
Thank you. Thank you for touching that.
This is always insane. Keep touching it. That's nuts.
Did something just move over here? I just felt the bed shake.
Oh, we did ask for it to fall on the bed. Are you on the bed with Kris right now? Oh, look at that.
Full, right on the bed. Damn. Interesting, it's on that side too, not Chris's side. That's where someone naturally. Yeah.
That's where someone would go.
Who is it?
If you're on the bed with Kris, why don't you light up the side that you're on? Is it the left or the right?
To your right?
To my right, that was lighting up.
Oh.
Who are you?
That one's not lighting up at all.
I'm Aiden. I'm Aiden, and that's Jojo, and Omar, and Colin.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
What's your name?
She just repeated what he said.
Ooh, that was weird.
She just repeated
Did
what
one
he
of
said.
you just
I
laugh?
didn't even notice that.
I just heard someone laugh.
That's creepy as
Name's Aiden, and thank you for that. Can you touch that box
that
again?
one's-
How long have you been here?
Oh, look at that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
He's there?
Okay, I see you.
Are you friendly?
Ted. Ted or Dad or...
Yeah.
Do you like being in here, Ted?
He has her.
Who has her?
Is there more than one person in here, or just 10? Can you touch another one of the cat balls? Perhaps the one in...
Likes that one.
Like that one, huh?
That's crazy, right, when you asked it.
Very faint sounds, voices. I don't know what they're saying. Sounds like multiple people talking at once.
Okay. Is there more than one person here that I can't see? Kris is listening very carefully on the radio. Can you tell her how many people are in this room?
One.
Thank you.
What?
Are you a man? Are you a woman?
Ooh, that sounded like a little girl.
Are you a little girl?
I don't know what she was saying. It sounded like a little girl.
What's your name, little girl? Is your name Dana?
Down. I heard it again. She said down.
What's down?
Are you under the bed?
That one just went.
Is there somebody being held on a different floor of the ship? I know you said he has her. Does someone have the little girl?
Were you being held captive?
Aiden, are there people in the hallway?
There's nobody.
Did anybody else just hear like a voice?
I didn't hear anything.
I thought I just heard like
Call
a
me
male
out.
voice.
Call me now.
What do you want to be called?
Are you in danger? Are we in danger?
Can't tell what that just said. It was a full voice. They're outside.
They're outside?
Who's outside? I'm gonna tap out.
Somebody.
I'm gonna tap Kris on the boot in a moment and wake her up. Because it's not good to listen to that for very long.
I think she's enjoying it.
She's doing really well. Who's outside? Something I forgot to tell you about with Estes is it's trance-inducing. When you put the headphones on, you get in this rhythm, and you can kind of start to lose sense of time and space. It's sense deprivation. So we try not to leave anybody in the headphones for more than 15 minutes at a shot, because it kind of messes with your reality a little bit when you take her off.
How long has she been?
She's been about 10 minutes now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is my friend Kris in any kind of danger?
Not hearing anything.
What's tricky that that's the one with lights on, and then that meter's the one that was going crazy when it was.
That was me.
Sorry. What was that?
That was good. That was me. I just stomped my foot.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's just that the bed shook. Was that
He
you?
asked something to come on the bed with you.
They asked somebody to sit on the bed with you, and that lit up.
Oh my God! No, the bed.
Pretty solid.
Somebody sat right there. What side of the
The bed shook and it was coming from this direction.
Yeah.
Also, at one point, someone asked what their name was, and you literally said, like word for word, someone was like, "What is your name?" And then you said, "What is your name?"
Yeah.
Like
just in
instantly.
response.
Yeah, he said, "What is your name?" and you said, "What is your name?" right after.
Right after.
That was trippy.
And we didn't think
honestly.
anything of it. We
No.
thought it was, and then we're like, "Wait a minute, she can't hear what he's saying."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think she did at all.
What did the little girl sound like? You mentioned a little girl, or
So that's nuts. I mean, like it's like I gotta kick the hell out of it.
So that's when I said it felt like something came on the bed.
Yeah.
That went off.
That went off, and both of these went off. First, this one went off, and you said it's on your right side, and that's their right. And then you said it's a camera, and that's when Omar was picking up his camera.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I felt like they were like pointing out that like,
Yeah.
hey, what is that? That's a camera.
the little cat ball. Only that one goes off.
Yeah.
The other two haven't.
So
Just that one.
here's the thing with that cat ball is that there's a couple of things. I'm not going to be super invested that that's paranormal because these come from China and they cost like nothing. And sometimes they're bad. You know, like sometimes they just don't turn off. Sometimes they don't turn on. So what I want to do is we'll switch somebody out, but let's switch the balls and move the ball to a different position. You know what I mean? And if that ball's still going off and it's doing the same thing in a different position, it's probably the ball. But if we put those two haven't been doing anything, and if we put one of those over there and
That just went off.
we've been getting that a bit.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
that one would go off and that one wouldn't.
Yeah,
So-
it was just that one faintly.
And then I had asked, "What side of the bed are you on?" And then that one started going off.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it
super
went full
strong.
red and stayed there for a minute.
bad? Like, did you guys?
Yeah, I think a couple of things did.
So as soon as these headphones went on, it was either saying Ted or then I was started to think I heard a little girl and I'm like, I wonder if she was saying Dad.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did say that one, yeah. We seemed to...
Did you
we
ask?
on Ted for a second. I think we were asking if it was Ted and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Well, that was some pretty amazing activity. Let's see what's going on in Aiden's theater. Currently, we have the SLS camera up, and we were having some amazing hits. Right.
Yeah, so basically it maps the human body, and it is used for an Xbox. It's used if the player jumps, his character will jump. If a player raises his arm, the character will raise his arm. But the camera uses infrared, and it's one of the most condensed grid of infrared of any camera out there. So paranormal investigators use it because infrared the human eye can't see, and it picks up figures that we can't.
You also have a tracker over there to
Yeah,
see
we're
if we
in
can,
motion detection camera in case anything does poke its head around the corner. We've got laser grids. We're going to let the SLS run for a few minutes, see what shows up. If activity increases or decreases, we've got laser grids. We've got tri-field meters to keep an eye on. We've got
the millimeter.
We've got the millimeter, and we've got REM pods. So
Awesome.
we've got a variety of stuff to throw at this room to see what we can
Would a
get.
REM pod be something that we could set up in that hallway over
We
there
can
too?
do that too.
We can do that right now.
Yeah, let's do that. And then some of the equipment that we brought,
So we're going to put this over.
just halfway up the hallway. So,
That's all right. I just got
chills again?
Well, it's goosebumps actually. It's like while you were talking, while you guys were over there too.
You
it
like
just
me?
felt like well, it's the same feeling we were having when we weren't on live.
When you're doing the SLS?
Yeah, it's just this whole arm just goes chill.
Okay.
That's why I'm kind of like going. There's nothing here.
There's no drafts now.
There's nothing.
Was anything? Did you feel anything when I was talking about the head?
Yeah, like a little. It started right there.
Mhm.
Like right now, like it's numb. That's what it is.
Feel anything on your leg, Catherine?
I just feel it like all here.
She has it down by your feet.
There's.
Down here.
Yeah.
You feel it. I'm also.
Exactly when you said that you were feeling it. She's got it recorded right here.
Yeah. Show it to the camera so they see what was happening. So, you see him touch his arm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been there all the time.
Something likes you, Patrick.
Welcome to. Jesus Christ. Welcome to.
What's going on?
I felt the.
Right when I said that too.
Oh wow.
That's strong.
Are you
Why
on
he's feeling
the Are you on the bed with Jojo?
Look at that. That's fucking freaking crazy.
I'm really feeling a childlike energy coming through.
It might be a little kid, a younger kid, that's doing this chant.
Alistair, were you pretending to be a child?
Oh shit.
What's happening on this side and what's happening with Tony are like separate things.
Someone please help.
Are you guys touching me?
Is there anybody here with us?
Ooh. Are you scared of the Ouija board?
Oh, look at holy